Maybe you don't sit in cabinet, but maybe why do we have ministries speaking across purposes when it comes to land? Look, this local government and lands ministry. On this show, I've spoken about lands ministry, a ministry of defense. The land behind the Burma camp.
Yes.
Where the lands ministry is giving the people title. The defense ministry also says that, hey, it's our land, they can't go there. So they also deploy their soldiers. And the last time you saw my people go and pour libation and rain cases and all that. How come we have people who sit in the same cabinet? Same cabinet. And yet they're speaking across purposes over
the issue.
Lands.
Yes. So apart from defense and lands, and then local government and lands over the parks and gardens.
Even environment. CSIR. I think there was a.
Then you also have the latest one is the interior minister. Boster Institute. The prisons barracks.
He said he was going to.
Yes.
Look into that.
Yes, when he came to respond to my...
When he came to respond, he said he would look into it. But he admitted that...
And yet, lands minister, and this lands minister should be careful. Who is he serving? Because you see, his statements... Do you know the latest development? This developer is now emboldened. He has gone to court to place an injunction on the local government minister.
Which developer?
The Upper West.
But do you blame the developer? I've gone to buy land.
Because he's now emboldened by the statements of the lands minister.
And I really think that maybe...
the lands minister not speaking to documents provided him by his technical people?
Because they are selling the lands.
Maybe,
because they are complicit.
Maybe we
they have absolutely no business selling these lands and rezoning lands without recourse to LUSPA.
Yeah.
And Parliament.
I think that...
but the level of complicity. It's told us that by a certain directive, I hope I'm making the right reference, by a certain directive, it's only the president who can authorize the sale or disposal of state lands. Not so.
No. If the process... There are many processes, but eventually, depending on the sensitivity...
Do you know the things going on? Look, I would encourage... I encourage Ghanaians, just 1 minute, to read the 160-page report of the sole inquirer, the commission established to look into the demolition of the Bulgaria.
Established by the Minister of Lands.
By the Minister of Lands, Justice Kwesi Oforiatta. If you read some of the things the Lands Commission people came to tell the commission, under oath, you collapse. Look, this is the Executive Secretary of the Lands Commission, page 17.
When was it, sorry?
This was in 2022, May 2022. Okay. It says, we are having situations where government land is registered as private land. Yes, you see, and this is a verbatim report. Yes, you see, ideally, before you give a certificate, you have to check all the records of the commission. Unfortunately, sometimes due processes are not followed and certificates are issued. Can you believe that?
Well, this is one of the things I was going to point out today, that, listen, all jokes aside, the Accrackers, I think this weekend on 23rd, you're having some program, right?
24th, next Saturday, homecoming.
Wow. The Accracker land, Accra High, Presec, even Legon, many governmental schools have not appropriately made sure that they have their titles. And I think that, there are two ways to go about this.
So let me ask you this. Yes. See, on this thing that you've spoken about, I find it problematic.
Even Pantime.
Just hold on. I find it problematic when the Lands Commission of the Republic of Ghana is actually placing a responsibility on these public educational institutions to take the step to regularize their land.
And that is...
Who does the Lands Commission work for?
That is why
the Lands Commission is not a private institution
at all.
The Lands Commission is supposed to be an outfit that should safeguard the lands.
Exactly. So if you have, and that is their constitutional mandate. And Article 258.
Has the Lands Commission even written, for example, has the Lands Commission written to, let's say, Ministry of Education or Ghana Education Service, that we realize that these lands are located to Accra High School, Accra Academy, Prempeh College, ABC, this, that, has not been regularized. So please take steps to do ABCD to do that.
And that is...
Why would we then hide behind the fact that some regularization has not been done? so we can cut off some of the lands and sell out.
So I'm really of the opinion that, and not to belittle the exercise you're doing, but I really think that if we're very serious, then the call should be to ensure that all governmental institutions, lands, and what have you, need to be properly
The Lands Commission must be doing that.
documented.
The Lands Commission is in every region.
Yes.
So
yes.
Greater Accra Lands Commission, they have all the documents, the maps, the everything. They have all that, so they know what was given to Presec. They know that the Presec lands are yet to be registered.
Yeah.
So they, as the relevant institution working for the state, should be those who should bring it to the attention of the relevant authorities. At the end of the day, when Presec loses the land, it's not the headmaster.
And you know the cost.
Doc, let me just support you.
Okay.
Article 2581D
Yeah.
talks about what you are saying, Doc. 2581, Lands Commission. There shall be established a Lands Commission which shall, in coordination with the relevant public agencies and governmental bodies, perform the following functions. So D, advise on and assist in the execution of a comprehensive program for the registration of title to land throughout Ghana. That's their mandate, their constitutional mandate.
So I really think that looking at some of the instances, and I can cite today, Pantai Hospital at what's it, Oyarifa.
Yes.
I mean, listen, the hospital's frontage is taken.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody builds a hospital and gives a frontage to somebody to build a house.
Because there are people benefiting from that, from that situation.
And I really think that it is sickening, and I think that, forgive me, coming back to some of the things, we need to, take the bulls by the horn and the proper approach. Because I've had headmasters sit in front of us, and mind you, the money to regularize these lands, they don't have it. Why are they going to get it? Because it costs to regularize, and which we all know. And I think that government to government institution, if a university or government institution is regularizing, the cost should not be the same as, quote unquote, a private institution. And some appropriate cost centers have to be, created so that when Presec or St. Peter's wants, or, so that I'm not, Wegehe, St. Rose's wants to regularize their land, it should be government to government interaction. Monies must not necessarily exchange hands, so that it is done in a very accountable way, and all of our schools. I'm not even going to go to the CSIRs and all of these other nice institutions, but at least our institutions can have peace of mind about their lands. And the painful thing is that some of the chiefs are reselling lands that have been bequeathed to government institutions. Yeah. And I think that is also appalling. With the greatest of respect to our chiefs in this country, I mean, I think that, and one of our problems in this country is our bond. Our words are not bonded. When a pact is done between you and myself, and the third generation has to abide by that pact, the third generation says that bogus, bogus, bogus. And I believe that culture has to change. If in this country, arrangements between, chiefs and, government cannot be ensured to be what it is for hundreds of years, then we are joking. And I think that the judiciary has to come in. And when I mean the judiciary, you take your case to court, and because you don't have money, when you have actually the title, it's ruled against you. And I think, I mean, listen, yesterday, Professor Atame was, MP for Cape Coast, right?
Yes.
I mean, Edina, Ekunfi,
KEA.
He made this very, appeal that it is so painful to have your title, and yet somebody's building on your property.
Oh, yeah.
And this country, until we respect the rights, the legal documents.
It's about might, not right.
The legal document.
Impunity.
Which tells you that this thing is for this person. When we fail to do that, and then when the machinations go against the person with the appropriate rights, then we have a problem, because it shouldn't be the highest bidder who wins these cases. And when we don't adhere to these things where your title is really your title and nobody, and this backdating of titles and all of these, is bad. And even state lands are also being taken. I mean, and that one is another discussion. But looking at my experience on public account, this issue of governmental institution losing, a bit here, a bit there. And I remember working on the environment and science and technology. CSIR has a very remarkable story of their lands, which are being preserved for, farming, being preserved for research. And people are encroaching on these. And mind you, like I said, to wage a war on a private developer in this country sometimes is not easy, because some people might be hiding behind that so-called private developer. But admittedly, this issue didn't start just in 2020. Yes. This issue didn't start just in 2024.
Yes.
And I think you're on a journey, which I think is rightly so. Sometimes it takes a while for us to wake up and really, under the many administrations. I mean, I've seen some of these things happen under JJ Kufuor. I mean, so admittedly, these issues will always, come up. But let me also say that in the other, places, these things are done in the open for people to appreciate the processes. And I think that it is the behind the scenes that makes it a bit murky. And elsewhere, advertisements are made that this government, land is being allocated for developmental purposes, and the adverts are run and an open bidding for any developer, and those processes are very carefully looked at and made sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and I think that is missing in our fabric here, because sometimes, unfortunately, the land is undervalued and then repackaged at a very exorbitant amount. And that is where our judiciary systems have to be apt. And until I see heavy reversal of some of these things in the court, where the judge will tell us that, listen, this land was sold to you at way below market value. I mean, I can't imagine me buying an Osu property now at a price that, is unquestionable, and then reselling it heavily. And these are things that, unfortunately, in the Americas, they can go back to 10 years, 15 years and say that, hey, Master, you have to make a compensation to the state for buying it at that low price and all of that. But our country hasn't matured. And I think that really...
We haven't matured, or our country hasn't matured.
Well, we make the country.
You can deliberately decide to still live like a kid.
Yeah.
Well, our country, the people, we the people, because I think that so to make a stronger case, I think that yes, these are major issues. I cry when headmasters and teachers, come to us and they don't have. And they can't have the funds to regularize. Because of the current, revenues they get, or IGFs for, let me cite, for instance, Odogono Senior High School in my constituency, then somebody's encroaching on their land, and headmaster is handicapped. Even money to buy, fuel for the generator car is a problem. How much more going through a lawyer to fight this, or the police to fight this? It's not easy on many headmasters or people manning many institutions. And I think from your letter, in support of local government, the parks and garden people took action.
Yeah.
Well documented.
Yeah, for 3 good years.
And I think that this has to be looked at, and I will commend Martin J. Kosa for pushing to defend local government. And I think, respectfully, we must admit that Henry Korte was very powerful when he, broke down some buildings here in Accra, in relation to CSIR. And I really think that, listen, it's not necessarily just the MPP government, because we have people in our government who are working, against, let me say, the encroachment of government lands. And I think that one, at least, as we talk, I'll plead with Sami to bring that out too. Because it just so happens that the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo administration is on now. But within Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's administration, there are stalwarts who are also, fighting this. And there are videos, if we can look, I think about 2 years ago, when Henry Korte did a Rambo style, I call him Rambo, did a Rambo style with the CSR properties. And if I tell you the backlash that he got, and the fact that, the threats you think you are getting, he got them in many quarters.